Hey there. Okay, I wanted to talk about kind of the differences between like sugaring, waxing, and all that. But today we're just going to talk about sugaring. So what sugar is just an all-natural sugar paste. It's made out of sugar, lemon juice or citric acid, and water. So again, all natural, no chemicals in there. But it's great for sensitive skin because it basically will adhere to the dead skin and will melt into the follicle, but it will not remove live skin as like soft wax can sometimes do, where you might have lifting. Sugar is just really awesome. It's also a lot less wasteful. You basically can use one wad the entire service for multiple areas if you wanted to. I find that it's less irritating. So again, for sensitive skin, so it hurts a little less. And then the hairs do grow back a lot finer. Compared with waxing, I would say fairly similar. But once I tried sugaring for like my own services, I haven't gone back to waxing besides for my brows because I find it's a little bit more precise for that. So I'm gonna show you. I have my sugar pot over here, and I'm just gonna have a little wad. So for each body area, you might have like a different amount, but anyways, this would be sugar paste. I use a cold sugar, so it's dark, whereas you might see a lot of other sugarists using what look more like honey pastes, and those are pretty normal, normally used throughout, but this is a cold sugar paste. I like this one because I find that it grabs on and I can get really precise with it compared to some other sugars. But yeah, anyways, this one is by Jessa Skin. I believe it's Sugar Love is what her brand is called. And then the other one I like that's not a cold sugar is the Cameras brand. So those are the ones that I've tried. I do want to try the Sweet and True, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So anyways, so with sugar, we are keeping it moving within these fingers. If you kind of like don't pay attention and you let this drop, you'll see it starts coming down. This one's not super warm, so it's not going to be dripping, and it's a firmer paste. So usually they have like a very soft to a very firm consistency, depending on kind of the area you want to go with. People that are like really experienced can use like the ultra soft ones and still be able to get great results. But if you're a beginner, I would start with like a medium or a firm because it can be pretty easy to like break down if not. So how we use sugar is, here's my little hand. We take the sugar paste and we go against the grain. So your hair, if it's growing out this way, you're gonna bring the sugar back. So you just follow that direction. So we kind of gently lay it, and then we bring it back. And then when you lift off, you're gonna come off slowly off the end. If not, you're gonna pull their hair and it hurts really bad. I actually had my husband and my daughter sugar my underarms during the shutdowns with COVID. Oh my god. I was like, you want to torture me. That's what you want to do. Okay, so I've done it about 4 times, but just because I'm talking. Normally, with cold sugar, you can do this like twice and you're probably good as long as you're melted into the follicle. With regular sugar paste, I find about 3 times is good. But as you're doing this, that sugar is melting into the follicle and it's gonna grab onto that hair really well. So here I'm gonna flick it. So we're coming back and then we press off right past where that sugar ends. So you're gonna press, and then we're gonna flick. Okay, and then all done. And now I'm like hairless. Do you see? There's like a strip. Anyways, I tried out a hard wax today as well, so I did the same thing. But it's, yeah, it's super simple. This can be easily cleaned up with water. So you can just take like, if you have a client, you take a hand towel or washcloth, spray it down with some water, and hand it to them if they want to clean up, but you can clean them up as well. And basically you just want to cleanse the skin and powder. I didn't powder today just because I'm just showing you kind of what it looks like rather than technique, I guess. I think it's awesome with Brazilians. And then like underarms, it can be really quick to get done. I've done underarms in like less than 5 minutes before. So it's super simple. It doesn't burn the skin because it's going on at basically room temperature or your body's temperature. So yeah, it's super comfortable for the client, very easy to use. And then basically once this gets super cloudy is when you want to really like switch up that sugar, because what can happen is if your body's too warm, it will melt it down, and if it's wet, it won't stick. Actually, let me see if I can show you. I'm gonna put some water on my hand. So you see how it's like, it's slipped rather than going all the way. See how there's like a gap? It won't stick if the skin is wet. So with sweating and things like that, like you want to keep an eye out on that with your client. Make sure to keep powdering them if they need to get powdered. And just keep it really comfortable for them. I like to do like a soothing treatment afterwards. But yeah, that's sugaring. So for clients, if clients are watching this, if you've been interested in sugar, I think it's a great way to remove hair. You want to make sure your hair is like trimmed. If you have like a full growth of hair at the time of your service, maybe ask them beforehand if they have trimmers to use. Some places do, some places don't, but maybe just ask, because otherwise they may not be able to service you. But sometimes they do have trimmers where they're able to at least trim that hair down to where it's a little bit more comfortable for you. Especially with sugar, because it does pull that hair because it's coming backwards on it. And then when you're lifting off, it is kind of pulling up that hair. With waxing, you can like lay the hair down so that it's not pulling up. So it's a lot easier to do if your hair is really long. Other than that, just like trim it down and it should be fine. Just make sure you have about like a 1/4 inch of hair growth when you're going in for an appointment, because you want to have it like as long as about like a grain of rice would be ideal. Anything shorter than that can be really hard to pick up with sugar. But I do notice like you have less and less hair as you get sugared. I have been doing my underarms for, I don't know, probably like 7 years, since beauty school actually. And I have significantly less hair. I also, because I get my Brazilian done, actually I've been doing it myself lately, but my Brazilian and underarm, and it's significantly less hair. And also I was having a lot of issues with ingrown hairs, with like very like cystic ingrown hairs, not only in like the bikini region, but my underarms as well. I would have a lot, and since sugaring, it's really died down a lot of that. I make sure you're exfoliating at least like 24-48 hours after. Make sure you're not exercising or doing a little physical exercise, if you know what I mean, after a sugaring or hair removal service. Any like heat and sweat and all that can basically put bacteria into those open pores, and since they're freshly opened up, we don't want to do that. It's going to lead to infections. It can lead to a lot of ingrowns and basically pimples. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. Yeah, sugaring is awesome. It's an ancient hair removal form. They've been using it since the Egyptians. So it's a tried and true method. I know it's a little bit newer for people to hear about, so it may not seem like it's trustworthy, but it's been around for a really long time. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a short little video about sugaring, but yeah, let me know if you have questions, and make sure you subscribe. I'm going to try and upload a little bit more videos for you, and yeah, have a great day.